You're never too late to move your time from the system that's cheating you to the system that's helping you. Ever. You should learn why. You should learn why you should go into self-custody. You should learn why you need to protect yourself in the new system. You should learn. You should not trust a whole bunch of scammers in this system and centralize. But if you actually understand Bitcoin, you are part of a network that cannot be cheated. And you are you're part of an honest protocol that is imposing what Bucky wanted, imposing what I talk about, imposing it, that forever prices will fall relative to your Bitcoin. Now, it'll look volatile. You'll naturally think it's going up because most of your measurement is from the system that's debasing. But if you don't do that, if you just measure in Bitcoin, you'll see the perfect clarity of a global free market, the first global free market that's ever existed, that's having faster and faster prices falling for you.
Right. I mean, Bucky Fuller was a futurist, was considered one of the greatest geniuses of our time. And he predicted Bitcoin a long time ago because he was watching kids play electronic games. And when he saw the score being carried on top of which is the ledger, for the electronic game, he says that was the future. And I'm sitting there, I barely use my cell phone. I had no idea what he was talking about.
And so what the free market does, anything with more margin or anything more broken, there's a bigger opportunity to solve. So monopolies can't actually exist for long in a free market because the monopoly creates more margin, and entrepreneurs attack that margin to create more value. So if you had a world that was consolidating and centralizing, and everybody was worried, and everything got scared over here, and Bitcoin was confusing to them, where would the value be? And so what we did in Ego Death Capital is we realized Bitcoin is a protocol. It's like the internet, and the protocols come in layers. No other coin, by the way, all other coins, all of the other things are going to go to zero against Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is a protocol, and protocols come in layers, and they build more functionality in layers, just like the internet. The internet started in 1969. And until 1989, and the same technology we're using right now for this call is on the internet on that protocol stack. But most people missed it because it came in layers, and they missed it through the 90s too, because they didn't understand all of the innovation, all the entrepreneurs that were building on top of that. Your iPhone's on top of it. This is on top of it. Everything's on top of it today, but it comes slowly in layers, and that's what's happening in Bitcoin. So we understood Ego Death. What we said is, if this is coming in layers, if this is true and this is coming in layers, what would this look like? And where can we invest our capital to be able to accelerate the new internet, the new global internet, which is Bitcoin, to create tons of value away from this broken, horrific system that people are trapped in? And as we do that, the returns are outrageous. Why? Because people are trapped over here and they're finding value in this new system, and it's growing so fast by providing that value. And those returns are denominated in Bitcoin. So the companies are turning profitable really quickly. And then they're adding more Bitcoin to their balance sheet every single month, because they're and why would that happen in a free market? Because they're providing so much value to people that are stuck in the old system. So for me, I can't believe more people can't see it. Because if you lived in this world, it's abundance everywhere. It's so crazy. It's so exciting. And so but I understand I'm at the very edge, the front edge of what we're seeing. You get to see this because you're an investor in the fund. You get to see all of the exciting things that are happening and how fast the growth is. But most of the planet, 7.9 billion people, are still stuck in that other system, giving their time to the system that's extracting their time. But you don't
I understood the way you explained it to me was in the industrial age, you're restricted by physicalness. And what happens in the digital age, there's no restriction. And it can go exponential so quickly. And that's when I said, okay, so since I'm an old guy and I don't know how to understand what's in Jeff Booth's mind. I just rather give you my money and let me see what you can do with it. And if we lose it, we lose it. I was not really, I was just enthusiastic about your philosophy, and it's paying off because we're not restricted. We're not restricted right now.
If you said, and this is the thing, I think the thing that you touched with Bucky Fuller, that you're touching with me. What are we as humans? Like, true, we're abundance creating machines out of scarcity. Any scarcity gets attacked, and it's all of the ideas to solve the problems come out of our brains. And so, of course, AI is going to expand. Of course, but these are all ideas that we come up with, and the output of those ideas should serve us all. And prices should fall in a free market. So anything that stops that is not capitalism. It's not it's not a free market. It's a control system. And so again, I come back to, you have a chance right now, if you understand Bitcoin, if you want to do the work, you can move to the first global free market that's ever existed, and no one can stop you. And it's your choice, instead of staying in the jail cell. Now you have to do the work, because there's a lot of people out there wanting to scam you and to sell you meme coins and everything else. So you have to understand that this would be a chaotic thing for your brain to understand, right? To say, but if you do the work, you can join the first global free market that's ever existed.
Right. And the reason, for full disclosure, we don't recommend anything, but I'm just telling you what I invest in, what I've done. Yeah. And the reason I did it is when I read The Price of Tomorrow, that was ephemeralization, a generalized principle. How do we do more and more with less and less? Yeah. That's what entrepreneurs do. The bureaucrats do less and less with more and more. Do you know what I mean? It's like the Federal Reserve Bank, does more and more with 5,000 PhDs, which explains why we're in trouble.
And so what are you doing with your time? Think about what you're doing. You're expanding the free market by moving more of your by investing in us and investing more of your time into Bitcoin. What you're doing is moving your time from all of those people to something that can't be stopped, which is beautiful.
Yeah. So if I could explain the cash flow game back there, I created that in 1996 because the most obsolete system is the school system. And thank God Donald Trump is shutting down the Board of Education, whatever he's shutting down. He's going after the labor unions and all this, which are all Marxist. But we created this board game out of ephemeralization that people could teach people, bypassing an old school system. And naturally, I catch hell from the screaming left-wing academic types. I say, what have you ever taught me about money? And they, but you have to have a college degree. I said, well, you tell that to Steve Jobs and Michael Dell and Bill Gates. They don't have college degrees. They've done pretty good. You know what I mean?
You pick up on something that's so important. We talked about it quickly in the break. If the natural state of the free market is deflation, and you think that there's inflation as normal, right? Think about how much money can be stolen from you by teaching you that is normal. And so all of the ideas that people don't think that they can understand the economy and how simple the economy is, it comes down to two things. We trade with each other to provide more value. And because we trade with each other to provide more value, prices must fall in a free market. Must.
Right.
So everything else you hear is essentially a lie that gets stronger by your belief in it. It's just a Rube Goldberg machine, and people don't want to question it because they're so convinced by some other expert told them why they should live in a system that steals their money.
And how it steals your money is inflation and taxation.
Yeah, and instead of saying inflation, because inflation, there's people that believe that you should have inflation. Don't say inflation. Say theft in your money. You don't have a vote in it. You have no vote in theft in your money.
Yeah, this is my final thought on this one. They need inflation to pay back the last theft.
Yeah, but greater and greater theft forever from that system, and you don't have to measure from that system anymore.